All right, the husband of a Michigan woman who's been missing at sea in the Bahamas says he's not leaving the country as he continues searching for his wife. Brian Hooker was held by police for 5 days before he was released without charges. Monday, Christian Benavidez brings us more from Freeport.
You want to keep looking for Lynette.
I'm going to need somebody with more authority to tell me to stop.
Brian Hooker says he wants to return to the water to search for his wife Lynette, who disappeared the night of April 4th. Brian says the 55-year-old fell off their dinghy in rough water while they were sailing in the Bahamas. Do you believe that Lynette's still alive?
I do. I believe I've been told that people have lasted in the Bahamas after falling overboard for days and even weeks. There are so many islands. Of course, you think about alternatives to that, but I'm not really capable of just turning away from this.
Brian was arrested last week, but released Monday night without charges. Police say they are still investigating the incident. Search and rescue teams now consider this a recovery mission. The husband and wife have been boating together for more than a decade and documenting their adventures on social media.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Lynette's family said the couple's relationship wasn't always as happy as it looked online. Messages from 2024, obtained exclusively by CBS News, reveal Lynette was anxious about their relationship at sea, saying it was real bad. I can't be out there with him. But Brian told us the two made a great team.
What was it like to sail together?
Fantastic. We're more like co-captains.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. And if you've been here before, I appreciate you. Now listen, this case right here, it doesn't sit right. It starts off simple. A couple, a boat, a night out in the Bahamas. And then, one of them is gone. Just like that. Her name is Lynette Hooker. And according to her husband, she fell off a small boat into the ocean and disappeared. That's the story. But here's the problem. Nothing around that story makes sense. Not the water, not the timing, not what people saw before it happened, and definitely not what happened after. Because the last time anyone really saw Lynette, she wasn't in danger. She was at a pool, moving around, taking pictures, trying to enjoy herself. And her husband? He wasn't with her. He was sitting across the way, quiet, watching the ocean, not even looking at her. People noticed that. They remembered it, because it didn't feel like a couple enjoying a night out. It felt like something was already wrong. And then, somewhere between that moment and the time they were supposed to leave, Lynette disappears. No witnesses, no clear timeline, no real explanation that holds up. Just a story that keeps shifting the more you look at it. So what actually happened that night? Because when you start putting the pieces together, it doesn't look like an accident anymore. Early evening, April 4th, the Abaco Inn. It's one of those places people go to relax. Drinks flowing, music low, sun starting to lean toward the water. Nothing about that night should have stood out, but it did. Down by the pool, that's where they were. Lynette's on one side, far left, phone in her hand, taking selfies, turning, smiling, moving to music only she seems to hear. Not wild, not out of control, just trying to feel good. You ever see someone forcing a good time? Like they need it? That's the energy. Now look across the pool. Brian, other side, far right. He's not talking, not scrolling, not drinking with her. He's just sitting there, still, facing the ocean like he's waiting for something, or thinking about something he doesn't want to say out loud. A witness said he looked like he was pouting, not angry enough to make a scene, not calm enough to feel normal, just off. And here's the part that sticks. They stayed like that, for a while, not a minute, not two, close to half an hour. Same positions, same silence between them, no walking over, no checking in, no shared moment. Two people in the same space, living completely separate moments. That's what people noticed, because it didn't feel like a couple on vacation. It felt like distance, the kind you don't always see coming, the kind that sits quiet, right before something breaks. And nobody there knew it yet, but that was one of the last times Lynette Hooker would ever be seen acting like herself. Alright, now let's slow this down, because this is where things start to fall apart. Time matters in cases like this. Every minute matters. And when you line up what we actually know, It doesn't sit right. 5:41 p.m. There's a photo, clear as day. Their dinghy, still tied up at the dock at the Abaco Inn, not moving, not drifting, exactly where it should be. 3 minutes later, 5:44 p.m. Lynette's at the pool. We know that because she took a selfie, phone up, facing the camera, alive, present, nothing looks wrong. Now fast forward, around 6:30 p.m., another group leaves the area in their own dinghy. And they remember something specific. Lynette and Brian's boat? Still there, still tied up. So they haven't left yet, not even close. Now here's where it gets tight. 6:38 p.m., surveillance picks them up. Both of them, walking down the path toward the dock. Together, side by side. So at this point, whatever tension was there at the pool, they're moving as a pair again. Still normal, still intact. Now jump ahead. 7 p.m., different image, same path, same direction. But this time, he's alone. No Lynette, no explanation. Just Brian walking toward the dock by himself. And that right there, that's the problem. Because between 6:38 and 7:00, there's a gap. 20 minutes. Gone. No clear footage. No solid witness placing both of them together. No explanation that fills that space clean. Just missing time. And when Lynette's daughter saw that, it hit her immediately. She said, they're never apart unless they're fighting. Think about that. Not sometimes. Not once in a while. Never. So now you've got a couple who were just seen together, heading toward their boat, and less than half an hour later, he's alone, walking the same route, like nothing happened. Somewhere in those 20 minutes, something changed. And whatever it was, it's the last moment we can't account for. Because after that, everything we're told starts coming from him. Now here's what Brian says happened. They leave the dock, head out toward their boat. Short ride, few minutes, and somewhere out there, he says Lynette bounced off the back of the dinghy. Just like that, gone into the water. He describes it like chaos. Wind pushing hard, waves rolling, 2, maybe 4 feet. Dark closing in. He says he couldn't control the boat, couldn't turn back in time, couldn't find her. That's his version. But then you check the conditions, and it doesn't match. Not even close. People who were out there that same evening, they're saying the water was calm. Not rough, not dangerous. Calm. One woman described it like glass near the shore. Another said they were riding around all day in a small boat. No issues at all. No one is talking about waves like that. No one is talking about wind strong enough to take control away. And the light? It wasn't pitch black. Sunset doesn't hit until around 7:45, closer to 8. That means when he says this happened, there was still visibility. You could see the water. You could see movement. You could see someone in front of you. So now you've got a problem. Because the story depends on chaos. But the environment was calm. And the ocean, it doesn't change just for one person. It doesn't turn violent in one exact spot, for one exact moment, and then go back to normal for everyone else. That's not how it works. So now you're left with 2 versions of the same night. One that sounds like panic, and one that looks quiet. And when those 2 don't line up, you start asking a different question. Not what happened out there, but did it even happen out there at all? Now pay attention to something small, because sometimes it's the small details that don't behave the way they should. When Brian first gets to the bar, the bartender remembers him. Clear memory, blue and white shirt, patterned, not loud, but noticeable. That's how he shows up, orders his drink, moves around, nothing unusual, yet. But later on, that same bartender says he comes back. No shirt, just gone. No explanation, no mention of swimming, no clear reason why he'd take it off. Then there's another account, different witness. She sees surveillance footage from inside the bar. And in that footage, he's wearing a shirt again, but not the same one. Now it's solid, gray maybe tan, no pattern at all. So now you've got 3 versions of the same man, in the same place, within a short window of time. One shirt, then none, then a completely different one. And look, changing clothes isn't strange. People spill drinks, people sweat, people jump in the water. It happens. But here's the issue. Timing. Because we don't have a clear moment where he goes back to the boat. No confirmed trip. No clean break in the timeline that explains a full change. Yet somehow, his appearance keeps shifting, piece by piece. And when everything else in this case is already unstable. Missing time, conflicting stories, even something like a shirt starts to matter, because it raises a question you can't ignore. What was he doing? During those moments we can't see? Now we get into something that should be simple. A bag. That's it. A dry bag. The kind boaters use every day to keep things from getting wet. Phones, clothes, keys. Nothing complicated. But in this case, it doesn't stay simple, because people start remembering it differently. At the boatyard, early morning, when Brian shows up asking for help, witnesses say he's carrying a bag. Yellow. Not maybe yellow. Not kind of. Yellow. Bright enough to stand out. That's what they remember. Then later, rescue crews pick him up. Different people. Same man. But now the descriptions change. One says aqua. Another says bluish. Someone else says blue-green. And they're confident about it. Not guessing. Confident. So now you've got a problem. Because this isn't about lighting. This isn't about shadows. Yellow doesn't turn blue. Blue doesn't turn yellow. Not like that. Not in real life. And then there's this moment. One rescuer remembers it clearly. They pull up next to the main boat. Brian gets on, and he tosses the bag up onto the back. Aqua. That's what sticks in his mind. He remembers it because it fell off. Because after everything, after saying he'd been out there all night, drifting, surviving, he leaves it behind. Just forgets it. Like it didn't matter. And that's what locks it in for that rescuer. The color. The moment. The detail. So now you've got two versions again. One man. One night. Two different bags. And that opens the door to something bigger. Because if the bag changes, what's inside it could have changed too. Clothes. Keys. Anything. And if things are being moved around, rearranged, that means the timeline isn't solid anymore. It's flexible. And once a timeline starts bending like that, you're not just looking at confusion. You're looking at something being shaped. Now listen closely to this part, because this is where things get uncomfortable. When Brian is asked about Lynette, specifically what she was wearing that night, his answer is simple. Almost too simple. Black two-piece. That's it. No detail. No depth. Just black two-piece. But people who actually saw her that day, they remember more. A green cover-up. A blue headscarf. A smartwatch on her wrist. Little things. The kind of things you notice when you're standing next to someone. The kind of things you don't just forget. And that's the point. Because when someone you've been with all day disappears, your mind usually holds on to everything. Not less. More. But here, it goes the opposite direction. Details fall away. Important ones. And then there's the Apple Watch. That detail keeps coming back. Because she wore it often. She used it. She tracked things with it. It was part of her routine. And there are indications it may have even been found on the boat afterward. Which raises a different question entirely. If she never made it back, how did that get there? So now you're left with two possibilities. Either details are being forgotten in a way that doesn't match how memory works in moments like this, or they're not being shared. And those are two very different things. One is confusion. The other is control. And that distinction matters. Because when you put everything together now, the separation at the pool, the missing 20 minutes, the calm water, the shifting descriptions, the changing bag, the missing details, you start to see a pattern. Not chaos. Structure. And when a story has structure where it shouldn't, you have to ask why. Because what this really comes down to is simple. A woman disappears. Not in a storm. Not in violent seas. Not in the kind of conditions people expect. But in calm water. With time missing. And a version of events that keeps changing every time you get closer to it. And at the center of all of it is one account that doesn't stop shifting under pressure. Because if Lynette Hooker really fell into that ocean, then none of what surrounds that night should exist the way it does.